We are live, apparently. How about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Sunday, April the 7th, 2024. We have presumably one of the best shows of the year because Auburn just played an 8A game, Cole. They just had a big recruiting weekend. We want to get to the phone lines as soon as possible. 701-779-9585. We want to address all your comments. We want to try to answer all your questions. Here to do it all with me, Mr. Cole Pinkston. How about you, big dog?
How about you?
How about you? Look, got a little red on the face.
Dude, it was a long weekend, man. It was a
You
long
look like
one.
it, big dog.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
I think that's a compliment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man, it was good though. I have so many takeaways. I have so many about the game, about recruiting.
Yes.
I don't even know where to start. So I hope that everybody has questions. I want to talk recruiting. I want to talk. I got a lot to say. So I am going to go through the film. We're going to do it just like a game week on the corner for those who are into that. I don't know if I'll have every single play, but I did find a YouTube video where most of the plays are on there. So we're gonna script it. We're gonna talk about it, offense, defense, all that. But dude, there's a lot to go over with recruiting now. There's a lot of new little intel, new nuances, things we need to talk about with the recruiting.
Lots going down. Mr. Allen Head is joining us, I think, as we speak. He is in the background. He's like at the back door knocking.
He's backstage. He's got a towel around his neck. He's got his boxing gloves on.
Yeah.
He's ready to go, baby.
Yeah, we'll bring him in. Let's see. What did he say?
He said, I'm backstage.
Yep.
Oh, look at it.
Hey. Got my classical piano back here.
Hey, bird dogs on, look like.
Yeah, well, you about right.
Alan, I hope you didn't have to move that piano.
It was a backbreaker, brother.
That's a bad job there.
It's a real bad job. In fact, I got to talk to Zach about my background when we get off. Had some casualties here.
Uh-oh.
Well, we want to talk, like Cole said, full loaded weekend. We want to get to it all. We want to get to the phone lines. We want to hear what y'all want to talk about. Before we do, if you're in or around Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, looking for a new house, want to move from your old one, want to get rid of it, want to upgrade, look no further for the help you need. Miss Jessica Andrus with the Talents Group. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. She is a 5-star realtor. If you don't believe us, just ask us, and we'll tell you the truth. I ain't going to lie to you. She is fantastic, folks. Ask anybody that's ever used her. I promise you will not hear any different from them than you do from me. Give her a call, Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. Okay. Hey, before we get into the football talk, I've got a couple of personal questions of the week. POW, the queue is silent.
I like it.
Okay.
Bring it.
It was brought to by way of my daddy and my sister.
Okay.
Oh, it's a two-parter.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Do you, when you're cooking biscuits, baking bread, pizzas, do you use a timer on the stove? I mean, on the oven?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Second part is for my sister, which is, do you wash the bottom of your feet?
Yes.
Okay. Yes on the first.
Good deal.
I do wash the bottom of my feet, but it's not as consistent as I should.
I took a shower before we got on, and I consciously washed the bottom of my feet, and I thought, I don't do this every time.
No.
Like, I did it because I was thinking of the question.
But I'm with you. Like, usually when I get in the shower, wash your hair, you know what I mean? Then you use your body wash and you get out. You don't necessarily think about the bottom of your feet all that much.
Y'all are Tufa guys, though. Y'all use that Tufa.
I don't. Bathcloth.
Okay. You wash clothes.
Yeah. I'm with Leonard Washington.
I'll tell you what. I am very serious about this. I do every time. That's a big deal for me because my shoes. I'll have some problems with my shoes if I don't wash my feet pretty regularly.
You be smelling like old cuz.
Rough.
Oh yeah. Cole had a problem with a couple of recruits yesterday. He's like, yeah, I gotta get out of here, man. That dude stunk.
It was probably just me.
So back to the oven timer. Now this drives me crazy. Women don't do it. They're cocky. Like my mom could throw together back in the day a Southern cook Sunday dinner like nobody's business.
Sure.
And then she'd burn the bread. Jessica's the same way. Cook some scatty, throw the garlic bread in the oven, burn it. And I'm like, use a timer. I don't need no timer. I got to just check it. No. Use a timer.
So you're talking about like some garlic bread, okay? Because I wouldn't really.
Put it in our pizza. The pizza says, hey, put it in the oven for 400 for 20 minutes. Do you set the timer?
Every time.
Every time. Religiously.
Yes.
I'm not big on the timer, personally. And listen to this. This kind of goes off of this. I am anti meat thermometer.
I just discovered the meat thermometer.
I do not like it. I don't trust it, for one. I don't like it.
I do the finger test on meat. Like that's for me. You know what I mean? Like as far as what's medium rare, medium, you know what I mean? Medium,
that's amazing.
Medium well.
My sister-in-law does that. She worked at a steak joint back in college. And she will go out there and put her thumb on it and say, yes, medium rare is ready to come off. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yes, sir, brother.
It's your finger, right? How many?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if it's at your pinky, that's medium. That's well done. If it's at your other digit
what
there.
Are you saying? What's at your pinky?
Part. You feel this part right here.
Yep. So you feel that part right there. That's what the meat feels like when it's medium well. Excuse me, well, medium, medium rare.
Look.
What are y'all talking about?
All right, look. Put your fingers together.
There's a steak in front of you right now.
Yeah.
All right, how are you going to test it?
All right. So I'm going
to
to
put your fingers together like this, like an okay sign.
Okay.
Yep.
Now feel this part of your hand. Okay.
With what? The steak?
With your finger.
Okay.
Now then touch your steak, and if you touch your steak and it feels like that, that's medium rare.
Does this feel different when you touch this finger?
Yeah, it tightens up.
Yep.
So are you serious?
Yeah. Then change your finger. Change it to the next one and see how much tighter it is.
The tightness?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. The tension in your meat tells you how well done it is.
I had no idea. I thought you were feeling the heat.
No,
how warm
bro.
is it?
No.
So yeah, that's about medium rare right there.
It's the texture of the meat. How tight it is, how tough it is tells you exactly. But
this is medium rare. The first one, the softest is the medium rare.
You got
it. The tightest is the
well done.
Well done.
Well, I'll be darned.
Yeah.
I was gonna say something about something else, but I won't. How you test something? All right, man. Y'all gonna get me in trouble.
But same deal. I worked at a seafood joint in college. At steak and seafood joint in college.
I'm going to try that after I stick my meat thermometer in there because I want to see if it's gauging right.
Sure.
So I want to see if I'm getting good at it. Wow, that's a game changer.
I don't trust the meat thermometer.
So you trust your pad.
I mean, yeah, that's one way. I've done that before, but really, I just feel it out. I just look at it and go, yeah, that's about where I want it.
Man, I'm an amateur. I would pull the things off and cut it a little bit and look down in there.
Or that. Sometimes I go to that, yeah.
Well, and it depends on how well you know you grill, too. You know what I mean? Do you have hot spots? Is it a gas grill where it cooks even? You know what I mean? It all depends.
All right. Well, that's a decent. Well, let's see. Timers, like I said, I don't know if it's are you arrogant, Cole? Cole seems he's an arrogant griller. You know what I mean? He's arrogant in the kitchen.
I'm a snob.
I don't trust the meat thermometer.
Dude, I'm too ADD not to trust a timer. Okay. Like I will put a pizza in or I will cook bread and literally walk away and start doing 10 other things. And 20 minutes have gone by and you got burnt bread. So I have to live by the timer. And then if it's not done yet, I put it in there for another 2 minutes and I restart the timer again.
That's right. Interesting.
Wow. A double timer.
Okay. A double timer.
The feet in the shower. So I talked to my dad about this. You wash your feet, and then what do? You stand right back and all the germs that are washing off your body. See,
Mm.
that's why I step out onto a clean towel. That's where I get my feet washed.
Zach, I know we got to have some callers back there that are just
let's go.
enthralled to get into this conversation.
Okay, is there anything else I forgot to mention? We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of questions.
Yes.
A-Day, recruiting, got some announcements potentially coming up. Husan Longstreet was in for an official visit. He's supposed to announce on the 14th, which is a week from today.
Yeah.
Yep.
So next week on this show, we will be talking about whether or not Auburn secured the commitment of Husan Longstreet. And then CJ Wiley was also in for an official visit, a bunch of unofficial, not a bunch, a huge group, but man, it was top heavy. And some new names. Nate Marshall was in, Jakeem Stewart was in, a lot of 2026 guys.
Yes.
How about our boy Dante Core out of nowhere?
Yeah, from
Dante
Pensacola,
Core,
right?
yeah.
Or Fort Walton.
Beach.
I'm sorry, Fort Walton. Is he
Yes.
Choctahatchee High or Fort Walton High School?
Fort Walton.
He's Fort Walton
Okay.
High School, yeah.
And so a lot to talk about, but we want to hear what you want to talk about. Get us started there, Big Zach. Big Zach.
Let's see.
Big
We're gonna
dog.
start with the same guy every week. We got Kevin from Wilmer. Kevin, you're live.
Our leadoff hitter.
I
I
know what
know,
Kevin's
right?
going to talk about today.
From Wilmer, Alabama.
What's up, Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama? How about you, big dog?
I'm glad we got Cam Coleman. He did real good yesterday.
You had to have liked what you seen from him, didn't you, Kevin?
Kevin, you would have loved to have been in our private chat yesterday.
What's on your mind tonight, Kevin?
I got 3 questions
All right, big dog.
for Jeffrey Lee.
Oh, just me. Y'all can't listen.
Mm.
Number one.
Number 1, Cam Coleman will have 17 touchdowns this year.
Woo.
17. Will he?
Huh?
And Bryce Kane will have 13.
Okay.
All right.
What's your third one there, Kevin?
Perry Thompson will have 20.
Oh, 20.
So 37 plus, how many Bryce King going to have?
13.
13?
13.
So that's 30. So 50 touchdown passes from who's going to throw it to him, Kevin?
Peyton Thorne.
Okay.
So Peyton Thorne's going to have 50 passing touchdowns.
That
Listen,
would be good.
if that happens, Auburn wins at least 10 games.
Yeah, I'd say.
And
Lord
then
hope
some.
so.
And then
Our
some.
defense would be very bad.
That might be a record at Auburn. 50 touchdown passes.
I
there's
think
no-
it is.
Yes.
There's no doubt.
Heisman talk.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Cam Newton, even in his Heisman year, had 50 touchdowns.
No, he had 60 combined rushing and passing.
Oh, wow.
Dude, that is still look. We got to get back to Kevin, but that's the most ridiculous season of college football I've ever seen one individual player
that's
ever
crazy.
play. Period.
Just to put it to perspective, 17 receiving touchdowns would rank 5th all time in SEC single season history.
What about 20? Perry Thompson.
20 touchdowns would be tied for second. That's what Jamar Chase put up in 2019.
Oh, wow.
with Joe Burrow.
with Joe
So,
Burrow getting him that pill.
It's doable. And it's doable in the modern day SEC, but there's a big difference between Joe Burrow and Peyton Thorne.
Yeah.
And Jamar Chase and Perry Thompson is a true freshman who's not even on campus yet.
Devontae Smith has the record with 23 receiving touchdowns in a year. That was the year he won the Heisman.
Was he a junior?
Yes.
Yes.
Devontae turned
And-
pro a year early.
And that was the COVID year, too.
Wow. He did it in like 9 games?
Yeah, Sarkisian was dialing it up that year.
Hey, Jeffrey Lee.
What'd you say, big dog? Say it again.
I said, have a nice night.
Oh, man.
Mhm.
I thought you was bowing up on me, big dog. Thanks,
Appreciate it, Kevin.
I hope you have a great one too. And that's 50 touchdown receptions from 3 guys. So you're going to have Jarquez Hunter. You're going to have running touchdowns. Let's be honest here. If they get half of that, Auburn still
Yes.
wins 10 games.
I don't know if they win 10. All right, so if he gets 25 passing touchdowns, I don't know if you get 10.
With those 3. Rivaldo, you haven't even counted Rivaldo. You haven't counted Cam Brown.
No, that's true.
Robert
that's
Lewis.
True. Okay, fair enough. Because if you're going to have to account for all that, I meant 25 touchdowns, period.
Total, right.
But right. But if he gets 25 touchdowns out of those 3, whew.
I tell you what, real quick, to kind of sum this all up, did you see anything, and I didn't get to watch A-Day as much as I wanted to.
Sure.
Did you see anything from Saturday that leads you to believe Peyton Thorne's capable of throwing 25 touchdown passes on next season? Is his stock up or down or neutral, in your opinion, solely after A-Day? Cole, I think you think he had a decent day.
Yeah, I thought he had
Right.
a good day. I don't think it changes his stock at all to me.
Okay.
No.
Same old Peyton that you remember from this last season?
No, different from that. And I say stock the same because I also predicted he'd be over 21 touchdowns and in the range of 23 to 24. So that's kind of my expectation for the year. If he hits 25 passing touchdowns, he's just at the top end of what I think he's capable of. So I firmly believe he's going to be this is going to come out sounding like I'm trying to take a shot at the kid, but I think he's going to be a middle of the pack SEC quarterback. I honestly believe that. I think he's going to toss
Isn't that an upgrade?
Yeah.
Improvement?
I mean, if he throws for 2,500 plus yards and 23 to 25 touchdowns by comparison to last year, what was it, 1,700 yards and 16 touchdowns?
2-to-1 interception TD ratio. I will say this: on paper, 9 of 13 for 133 yards and 1 touchdown. He was sacked 1 time.
But let me tell you, let's say this though: plays that were made on the ball in the air by the wide receiver. How different was it this year for our receivers to go make a play, even when it wasn't a perfect pass? Think about Cam Coleman's touchdown. I mean, he grabbed the ball back shoulder. You know what I mean? That play doesn't get made this time last year. It just doesn't.
Did anybody look at Cam? Go ahead, Alan. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead, Cole.
Okay, real quick. Did anybody look at Cam Coleman's diving catch and think that should have been 6 and the overthrow actually cost Auburn 4 points?
Yes.
100%. He was up by 3 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
but
they had to settle for a field goal.
It was a good play. It was a good throw. I'm good with the throw. I think even Hugh Freeze will be okay with that.
I'm being picky,
because
right?
that play is something different. I notated it during the game. That's something I didn't see a whole lot of last year. It was a switch route. They switched with the tight end, so your outside receiver. Here's what I liked about it. Okay, you see that Cam Coleman ended up getting on the hash marks. That's Peyton Thorne. We've had these talks with him during the spring. He's talked about detail and how detail has been a problem, how it was the problem last year. And he says it's so much more detail this year. That's a detail because when you have an aiming point like the hash marks, that's an aiming point not only for the receiver, but the quarterback too.
Correct.
So he's putting it out there on the hash marks because he knows that's where Cam Coleman's trying to get to. So that's why that play came together really nicely, even though it's a little bit overthrown. That's the part you fix as a quarterback, and it's easier to fix than it is trying to get each other on the same page, which was the problem last year.
And that was Henry, right?
Yeah,
it was.
Henry,
but that was a really nice dialed up play there. I liked it. Jay Crawford, tough day for him having to cover Cam all day. Good. He was in good position a few times. I did want to point that out. The DBs were in good position a lot of times. Didn't play the ball. Got to play the ball.
He was in good position on the touchdown pass.
Sure was.
It's just, you know what I mean? I will say this, though. Back shoulder is insanely difficult for a cornerback to defend if it's executed properly. That was 100%. I mean, he couldn't have anticipated. He had to flip his head. And there are probably in the SEC maybe 2-3 guys that make that play with the ball in the air. There's not a lot of them for sure. But like you said, very tough assignment. Cam Coleman was as advertised. Now, I think he also had some errors down in the red zone that Hugh Freeze talked about in his post-game press conference, and so they'll want to clean those things up. But It's going to be interesting, man. I mean, I saw enough in the passing game. I'm with you, Cole, to think, okay, he's going to be enough to keep you in ball games, not hurt you, and maybe even win you a few games. I mean, the
Yeah.
Peyton Thorne we saw yesterday, in my opinion, wins you 7 or 8 ball games next year. Definitely.
Yeah, if you're Peyton Thorne going into this season, the biggest thing is don't be the reason Auburn loses a game. Instead of I need to take control and be, hero. That's not him. It doesn't need to be him. He needs to be somewhat of a game manager. But look, I think he's good at the RPOs. I said this last year. I've defended him on that. I don't care about everything else. When he does the RPOs, he looks pretty good. He did that last year well, for the most part. He had a few slip-ups. We saw an interception or two that came on RPO plays. But just like last year, I thought he picked right back up on the RPOs and looked good. But I think you made a good point, Alan, talking about receivers making plays on the ball. Some of the throws weren't placed perfectly. Last year, you placed those balls where you place them in this game, and it's incomplete. That's the difference, guys. That's what we've been saying the whole time. It's got to be better on the other side of the receiving end for things to get better on the throwing end. It has
Agreed. I mean, I think there's room for improvement on both sides, but seeing guys go up in one-on-ones and make plays on the ball, I mean, that was missing all last year. I mean, there were probably a handful of times I can pick out, and Zach, I would love to get your opinion on this too, but
I want to know what you think too, Zach. Yeah.
But there's a handful of times I can pick up that are put out there that where I can remember a player making, a play in one-on-ones last year from the wide receiver core. In this game alone, you had multiple occasions. Zach, what's your feeling on everything?
Man, sorry, my throat's killing me today. But I thought Peyton played well, like you guys said. But I do think we talked 2 weeks ago about the wide receivers last year consistently missed plays. You think of the big, I think of the big drop post route against Vandy.
Yep,
was one that sticks out to me. Obviously, the potential touchdown pass against Bama, which probably ends the game there. That's probably a wrap. I don't know if Bama's scoring 2 touchdowns late to get back into that game. And then also, too, A&M a few times where it looked like he was expecting a guy to be somewhere and he wasn't. And in that game, he didn't have the time to get to his second, third, fourth read because A&M was killing the offensive line.
They were.
And they got super aggressive, too, because they saw that they could get to Thorne. And then once he got off his game, everything fell apart. I think Cam looked good. I think who's the new guy from Georgia State?
Robert Lewis.
I thought those 2 guys looked like the best wide receivers, in my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel. Day one rolling out of if Auburn had to play a game tomorrow, those are the top 2 guys, in my opinion. And I also do think we talk about Thorne's stock. I don't feel better on my predictions, but I do feel like there's really not a quarterback battle moving forward because I think he looked so much heads and shoulders above the other guys that there's not even a discussion on who's the starting quarterback next year. Like, I think Holden's time at Auburn has probably come to a close after Saturday.
I wouldn't disagree with you. And the only way there is a quarterback competition, in my opinion, they're going to have a quarterback competition, right? Because Hugh Freeze is not going to announce like a full-blown starter. He's going to continue to push Peyton in fall practice. That's just the way coaches operate. But unless Holden were to transfer and Coach Freeze decided to bring in a transfer, like another one that's got competitive reps, well, then maybe you have a competition going into fall camp. But short of that, I'm with you guys. It was very clear to me as far as who had full command of the offense yesterday. It was Peyton Thorne. And now, does he have the most arm talent in that room? No. I mean, I think you can see Walker White having absolutely the most arm talent in that room. I mean, there's little question if you watched all those guys throw yesterday, who's got the most arm talent. But is he ready to play right now to process things in the SEC? No, you can tell it's absolutely moving a little bit fast for him, but that doesn't mean his future isn't significantly bright. We're just talking about right now in his true freshman season.
And I don't think now there were some fans who wished he was ready day one, but I don't think any of us on the screen right now or many people in the chat thought he was going to be ready to be a starter day one in the SEC. That's tough to do as a true freshman, especially at quarterback at a place like Auburn where the fans are expecting you got to win now. Like we're all expecting 9 wins. That's tough for a true freshman.
Yeah. You're right.
Agreed.
We'll go ahead and go to the next caller. 6940. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Alex from Moulton, Alabama.
What's up,
Oh,
man?
Alex.
Oh, man, I was just calling. I was wondering two things, one kind of recruiting, one kind of post-spring game analysis. I wanted to know if who y'all thinking kind of stays or who transfers out after the post game. And recruiting-wise, I was kind of looking at who the top three big dogs that y'all think that we made the biggest move for in the recruiting after A-Day.
Good questions. It's hard to speculate on transfers out. You know, really all I can get. I mean, we try to give you numbers, and that's not because we know somebody's leaving and we're counting them. It's just what makes sense. What positions do you look at and go, all right, would make sense for someone to leave that group right now?
General assumptions.
Yeah, and that's why Zach, you said Holden Gerner. That wouldn't be surprising to me if a guy like him left from the quarterback room, because it is pretty clear that Peyton Thorne's got command better than anybody right now. So yeah, that would be one. You probably keep an eye on him. Maybe the DB group room is pretty full.
Yeah, I was going to say the DB room because how full it is, but they've already lost Rhyme, and that was kind of the guy I thought. Now there may be one other that comes loose out of that room.
Could be. The thing these days, it doesn't matter if maybe somebody doesn't want to leave, but then they get this offer like, "Hey, you're third at Auburn, you'd be number one for us." That's how it goes, guys.
Three big dogs Auburn made the biggest moves for this weekend, Cole.
Hezekiah Harris.
Okay. Who's the DB out of Atlanta that showed up? It's got a top three of South Carolina, Auburn, and
Jonte Gilbert.
I think we've made a move there.
I agree. Boy, Jeffrey, you may agree with me on this. For whatever reason, the guys that were there were the hardest guys to read in the world. I just don't know what most of those guys are thinking.
I think that's what we talked about. It was top heavy. These guys are seasoned already in the art of the interview. You talk about Eric Winters and how
I have no idea. I have no idea what
he was just a happy-go-lucky, saying the right things and smiling and yippee guy. And after he leaves, we're like, I don't know how to feel about that.
Don't have a clue. I'd say Jakeem Stewart, the number one player in the country for 2026.
Nate Marshall.
He was there. Nate Marshall, I was having a hard time reading him too. He says Auburn's top 5, so that's news. I mean, we didn't know they were that high. But Jakeem Stewart actually stayed overnight Saturday. He left Sunday morning. I think he really hit it off with Vontrell King Williams. Probably one of the more interesting things that I learned, Bryce Perry Wright, may be familiar with him. That's a big D-line target for Auburn for the 2026 class. Bryce Perry Wright is the one that told Jakeem Stewart, you need to go check Auburn out. He's not committed to Auburn. He's a 4-star D lineman telling, the number one player in the country, hey, have you seen Auburn yet? You got to go see it. And he listened, and I think he was glad.
I don't know if he's considered a big dog, at least not yet, but obviously Auburn made a big move for Dante Core. We talked about him earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Took the lead
Definitely.
for him. He could be committing soon, but just had a conversation that says he may not be committing soon. So we'll see about him.
Okay.
Cole, I saw your thoughts on the board, but Jeffrey, I want to kind of get it because obviously everybody wants to know Houston Longstreet. Did we, you know what I mean? We're talking about making moves, right? Did you make enough of a move to make yourself the leader?
Okay, so this morning, I would have said yes. How much has Cole disclosed?
Hardly any, other than the fact that he thinks it's close between Auburn and Texas A&M.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what I said.
Much better before considering Cole's intel.
I'll tell you what I said, Jeffrey, just to get you up to speed. My assessment of the situation is that I think Auburn has the slightest of edges right now. if I'm picking, if today were signing day, I'd pick Auburn. I said this on our recruiting show a week ago. Quarterback recruiting is a different ball game. All right.
Yeah.
It's different. That's the best I can put it to you. So by saying that, what I mean is things are unforeseen with it. I don't trust it. Okay. I don't trust it. I don't trust giving a solid yes or no to you right now. Yes, he's in. I don't know.
So narrowing the conversation to one quarterback is very difficult. This is what Cole, I think, is trying to say.
Yeah.
However, I do feel comfortable saying Auburn. I would not be surprised if Auburn quarterback in this 2025 class is Husan Longstreet, Juju Lewis, or KJ Lacey.
I agree with that.
I don't know which one. I would lean. I think, man, I'm gonna be. I would think the best chance right now is with Husan.
Correct.
Yes,
and I don't know where I put 2 and 3. I don't know where it might be 2A and 2B with Juju and with KJ. I do think it's easier for us to say that I think one of those 3 quarterbacks commits to Auburn, in the next 6 weeks. I just don't know which one. But I would say the most likely right now is Husan.
When's Juju set to take visits? Because I know that's the big thing with him.
Let me see.
I don't know. I've never been able to talk to Juju. So
let's see what's on his profile.
Yeah, he's
got a difficult guy to get in touch with.
Doesn't Georgia have a QB committed?
I think they just got one, didn't they?
Do,
yeah. They just got a
Ryan Montgomery.
Was he the 26th class though, Jared Curtis?
Yeah, Jared Curtis is 2026.
26.
Yeah. Okay, but they want 2 in this class. There was a kid that was from the. Hey, look at me. I thought there was a kid from Pennsylvania that was Toller or something of that nature that was supposed to be committing.
So now Georgia
he
only
committed
has
to Missouri.
6 commitments
Get out
in
of
their
here.
2025 class and no quarterbacks. They don't have a quarterback in 2025.
So they're all. If my understanding was Georgia had 2 quarterbacks on their list. Toller was one. Juju Lewis is the other. So they're all in there.
And I think Ryan Montgomery, who is kind of a, I don't know if he's a tier 1 for them, but Julian, the reason I brought that up is Juju is scheduled to officially visit Georgia at the end of May. That's
Correct.
The only official visit he has, and I'm guessing he's going to take some June. But I think we saw him 2 or 3 times in the past 3 weeks. Did we not, Cole?
Yeah, he was there on a Tuesday. He was supposed to be there that weekend, didn't make it. Ended up coming back for a Tuesday visit, and then he was there one other time before that.
Actually, he came in that Friday night, had to leave Saturday morning before anybody saw him to go play
so
7-on-7.
You're right.
Came back on a Tuesday and then came back on a Saturday. I think he was there 3 times in an 8-day span.
That's correct.
So I think the takeaway there is those 3 quarterbacks, all elite guys. Juju Lewis, KJ Lacey, Husan Longstreet, all elite quarterbacks in this class. And I think Auburn ends up with one of them.
I agree. And I'm leaning towards Longstreet. Just to clear up any confusion, but this is another situation. It's kind of like Alvin Henderson. I don't know what to do with it. I've kind of given you as much as I know, and I don't want to speculate where he might end up because I think there's a good chance I could be wrong because I think there's a long way to go. We got a week to go, and that's what I mean by quarterback recruitment being different. By the way, Alan, the guy you were talking about, Matt Zollers, he committed to Missouri.
Zollers, not Tolan. Sorry.
What a win for Drinkowitz.
Yeah, their lone 2025 commit, by the way.
Missouri?
Only one guy, Matt Zollers.
Wow. Yep. If you can put your NIL resources in something, it might as well be a quarterback, right?
Well, they put theirs into that defensive lineman last year, the 5-star, right?
Sure did.
They did.
Williams.
They loaded up on that one.
Who was it?
Williams Nwaneri, however you say his name.
Out of the St. Louis area, correct?
Yeah. He was like the number 8 player in the country, right?
Yeah.
He was number 1 for on 3, I believe. I don't know. I'll go back and look.
Hey, how many did I miss? How many calls did I miss?
I was going to say 1.
Yeah, 1.
Who was he?
Alex from Moulton.
I was looking at it's Williams Winery.
Nwaneri, yeah.
Winery. Alex from Moulton. Okay, played with some boys up from Moulton. All right, Zach, keep us going, big dog. We had a great class last year.
Yeah.
1406. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Josh Corbett from Birmingham. How are y'all tonight?
Good, Josh. How about yourself, big dog?
Doing good. So wanted to call in and talk with Cole and you guys about how the D-line performed yesterday. To me, they overperformed on what we've been hearing out of camp. And they pretty much didn't let the run game get going yesterday, which is complete opposite of what we saw last year in the 8A game.
That is true. Yeah, Josh, I think they played well. Here's the thing, and I have actually started looking at the film. I felt like there were some really not so good decisions by the running backs a few times, and Auburn was absolutely just bent on trying to get that outside zone, wide zone going instead of just pounding inside with your gap schemes in your inside zone. And not to get too technical, but basically what they were trying to get reps of something that they probably weren't as good at. So yeah, I think that gave an advantage to the D-line, but at the same time, I do want to say they played pretty well. And like I said, I put on the board, I talked to Vontrell King Williams. He was very excited about how his D-line played, very excited about his young guys, thinking, man, he's got something really, really good to build on right there.
Yeah, Monta Waller and Amaris really stuck out to me watching them along that D-line yesterday.
Definitely. Yeah, even Malik Blockton and TJ Lindsey did pretty well as also.
Bobby Travis.
He didn't to be as big as he is. He's got quite a quick first step there. And Keldrick Hogg looks like he's added on some good weight to where he can play inside or outside. So I think that'll help our D-line. I'm still with Cole that we should go get a portal guy to kind of help alleviate some of the pressure on these young guys because they are so young and inexperienced.
Yep. I'm still thinking two.
That's all I had tonight, guys. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
Appreciate you, Josh.
I agree, Cole.
Are y'all still thinking two? What do y'all think after watching the 8A? 1 D lineman, 2 D lineman interior. What do you think?
My opinion is 2. Now, I talked to a source that knows football a little bit better than me, and he thought maybe only 1. But it would need to be a really good one. It would all be contingent on what you can fish out of the portal. But I personally believe 2.
I do too. I think a big dog and maybe a developmental guy. Was that the same conversation? Either way, 2.
Yeah, I think 2. Just because they're going to practice some load management this year, I think they're going to try to roll a lot of guys through. I mean, I really do, and I think you need. I think you need that extra body. And I was impressed with what I saw from Trill Carter. I thought Trill Carter, Bobby Travis, to me, in my opinion, both flashed in that game, and I was not expecting that from Bobby Travis. But again, Cole, did that play into his? You know what I mean? Some of the things they were doing in the run game. Was there confusion amongst the offensive line? You're pairing some guys together, and not all of those were good on good reps, right? Like, I mean, some of those were against third-team offensive line, second-team offensive line guys. It wasn't like they were all against the starters. So
right.
I think you have to be a little bit cautious about what you're reading into with the defensive line. I was impressed. I think it's a nice step forward, but still, to me, I trust who I talk to enough to know that I still think they need at least 1 or 2.
Yeah, same. Definitely had some conversations about that. But no, they played well. I think they did some things really well. And Trill Carter, in my opinion, Allen was the most consistent defensive lineman of the day.
For sure.
All right. 1295. You're live. Who are we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Yes, this is JNet 458 from Anniston, Alabama.
JNet 458.
458.
All right.
JNet 458. Last time I called you, done the Manscaped commercial.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, went to the A-Day game yesterday and enjoyed it. The
Good.
weather was beautiful, but
Yes.
I'm gonna tell you, that offense don't impress me a bit. To me, Auburn has a good practice quarterback in Peyton Thorne. He's good as long as he don't have pressure. He can hit his targets. But without Coleman yesterday, there would have been no touchdown. They had 7 field goals, no touchdowns, one touchdown, 7 field goals. A practice quarterback, in my opinion, will lose you at least 2 games. So I'm just throwing it out. I kind of wish they would go ahead and pick up one from the portal just in case, because I'm like Zach. I believe that Odin's gone. But anyway, that's just my thought. I just want to see what y'all thought about it. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Hey, appreciate you, JNet 458, not to be confused with JNet 459. Well, here's the deal, right? You go back. Listen, would you argue with somebody like JNet who says, "I think they should go to the portal and get a filler"?
No, especially if you
a
lose
bridge guy.
If you lose
Right.
if you lose a quarterback to the portal, I would say get one.
No, I agree. At a
Get a
minimum,
1-year guy or get a developmental guy.
I think it depends on what's in the portal. I mean, it's so hard to say right now what you should go get without knowing exactly what's in the portal. I'd be hesitant about getting just a 1-year guy.
Especially late.
Right. But a multi-year guy, say, who's the kid from Boston College? They just had a quarterback. They had a head coaching change. Bill O'Brien's there now. Castellanos, I think is his name. Thomas
Sounds
Castellanos.
Right. Yeah.
Originally from South Georgia. Well, he's got competitive reps at the Power 5 level, got multiple years left to play. If a kid like that were to jump into the portal and you had a gap there, I could see, okay, maybe you make a play on something, a quality quarterback like that that's got multiple years. If he doesn't beat Peyton Thorne out, guess what? You've got him in your system for one more year, and potentially he's your starter next year. But just
That
a
might-
1-year fix, right? Yeah.
That might be the only kind of guy you can get too. Like, how are you going to get a 1-year guy? How are you going to convince him that your returning starter who has only 1 year left, you're going to get a fair share to beat him out?
Well, the thing about the current quarterback situation and why people are speculating that Holden Geriner might be the one to leave is because he's got a couple years ahead of him still at Auburn. But the outlook is if Peyton Thorne's the starter this year, and then if Walker White catches on, and if you land Husan Longstreet. So it's a years thing more than a personal thing about Holden Geriner.
Yeah.
That's why it's difficult if you were to go get another portal quarterback, because what do you do? I mean, do you get a guy with the same amount of years as Geriner? It could be really tricky. So it almost if they lost Holden Geriner, or if they lost Hank Brown, lost somebody, is it almost too much of a hassle to go and try to figure that part out? Or do you want to give that scholarship to another D lineman? Is that more important?
I think you got to go get a quarterback regardless. I just taking 3, especially as a junior, as Hank Brown and Walker White are right now. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable personally having those as my only 2 quarterbacks unless you're going to prepare Sam Jackson as an emergency quarterback. If you have that in your playbook, okay. But I don't think that's the plan for him right now. I think he's fully going to be a wide receiver, or at least that's the word. Okay.
I think so too.
So, no, I think you got to get one, Cole. I'm with you. And I think you got enough open spots to go get as many defensive linemen as you need right now. You've got 5 open spots presently, and we all anticipate there to be at least maybe 3 to 4 more that are going to jump into the portal.
Right.
So,
and keep in mind, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but the law of averages says there could be a really good player that leaves Auburn.
Oh, I'm with you. Look, Tampering is a real thing. Okay. NIL resources are a real thing. And there are guys that can be enticed or guys that just want a different opportunity. You know what I mean? There has been some coaching change on the defensive side of the ball. There's been some coaching change on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe there are guys that feel like they're best used elsewhere. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But no, I mean, just the law of averages, like you said, 3 to 4. Don't know who it's going to be just yet, but I would anticipate that. And Jeffrey, you're our handicap specialist. What do you think? What would you put the over under on who would jump into how many jump into the portal post spring?
4.5.
Okay.
I'll take the over.
Go, Michelle LC wants to know, what are you doing in this picture?
I saw it. What are y'all doing? It's not just me. Well, it is. It actually is just me.
We need Ron Roberts to Photoshop something real quick.
We were throwing up the satanic 666 sign there, Jerry.
I forget that.
Hey.
I forget that.
Put that one in the jar.
The screenshot does happen from time to time. You got to be careful.
Oh, for sure, dude.
The screenshots of Jeffrey on the corner own me. Own me. Whoever's got them, keep doing them. I love it.
Every time.
Like I'm the only one. All right, let's see. What you got, Zach?
2246. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
What's going on, fellas?
Hey, there he is.
Oh, stranger.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, nothing much.
Where you been, Edward?
Man, I've been MIA, man. Been MIA for the last couple of weeks, man. I took a Sunday through Thursday night shift job, man. So
oh wow.
I was intending on calling last Monday, but
you liking it?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm loving
Good.
it. Loving it.
What did you think yesterday, Edward?
We got to ask Edward.
I had the damnest thing happen about 2 weeks ago, man. I was on Facebook, and one of the Bama sites, what they share on Facebook, all their fans, they was excited about the Caleb Falk visit to Alabama. And I seen this guy I said, damn, he got to be an Auburn fan. He had commented on there, and he was going toe-to-toe with Alabama fans. And his word was, Caleb Falk was signed with the Auburn football team. And I read that, and instantly somebody came to mind, and I seen the name, and the name was Kevin. And I said, I got to see, because this show sounds like the damn Kevin from Wilmot. I clicked on the profile, and lo and behold, it was the damn legendary Kevin from Wilmot going toe-to-toe with Alabama fans, telling them, hell no, he didn't say that, but it's my word, hell no, Caleb Falk will sign with the Auburn football team. And I commented on that. I said, well, Kevin is Edward. And me and Kevin been chopping it up ever since, man.
All right.
Tonight on Facebook, man. I'm about to call in tonight.
Right.
Man, hey, I don't know who the GOAT is in football or basketball or baseball. All that can be disputed. But there's one thing I know that can't be disputed. Kevin from Wilmot is the GOAT of Auburn football fans, man. People tell me, hey, man, you the best caller, you the star of the show. No. And I tell them every time, no, man, my favorite caller is Kevin from Wilmot, because he's been keeping this thing going the last couple of weeks with all the questions that he's been asking, and I listened to it on my way to work, and I really been enjoying it, man. But Kevin, you the GOAT, man. You a rock star. I got to give you a shout out.
Our leadoff hitter and our closer.
That's right.
Tonight.
That's right.
Edward is our closer
it's Auburn
tonight.
Football. I'm excited, but I'll say this. Number 8. If he ain't got 100 targets at the end of the season, we did wrong, man. I didn't say 100 catches. I said 100 targets. And he said, damn, that seems like a lot. No, if you do the math, we should be attempting to get him the ball about 2 to 2.5 times every quarter. We ain't throwing the ball to him at least 2 to 2.5 times a quarter. We doing him a disservice, because
I hate to say it, and I don't want to put the pressure on him, but hey, that kid can handle all the pressure they put on his back. The kid coming into the SEC is probably one of the top 5 receivers already in the conference, and he ain't played a damn game in Auburn yet. We ain't had nothing like this, folks. That's the real deal. He make wrong right. The pass that St. Brown throws, that's an incompletion last year because not many guys go out and get the ball what he did. The touchdown throw, that's an incompletion last year because not many guys fight through to catch that ball that he made. He make wrong right. You don't have to be perfect with him. And just imagine if I can get anything out of Perry and Malcolm oh, man. And I'm going to give a shout out to a few guys, man. Camden Brown, I like your play, sir. I like how you stepped up. You played football yesterday. And the sky's still the sky the roof for Camden Brown. And I like how he stepped up yesterday. My guy Robert Lewis, I love that. Sam Jackson, man, I love that. I seen a lot of promise yesterday, but it was a couple plays that lets me know that the talent really been upgraded on this team. I got to give Mr. Robert Woodyard his shout out. Because that play right there is a play. That's an SEC linebacker, open space, one-on-one against one of the best backs in the league. You make the play. Kinsley Foster, one-on-one, in the flats. You come up, you make the tackle. Plays like that is what we haven't had guys who could execute those type of plays. So shout out to Hugh Freeze. I know Woodyard wasn't out of his recruit, but shout out to Hugh Freeze for upgrading the talent. We look like a far more athletic team.
Yes.
We look like an SEC team again, and I like that.
Robert Woodyard was one of 4 guys leading the team in tackles yesterday. Him, Keontae Scott, Bobby Travis, and Jaron Thompson had a sack, 3 tackles. And Griffin Speaks, big dog Griffin Speaks, they all had 3 tackles on the day.
Edward, I thought you hit the nail on the head. I don't know, what the win differential is going to be this year, but I know that there's more talent on Auburn's roster this year moving into this season than there was last season. There's no question about that. It's young talent, and so you're going to have to live with some mental mistakes. That's what's going to happen. But when you said make wrong right, that's something my dad used to say all the time, and it took me back for a second, man. So thank you for saying that quote. But no, I agree with you. I mean, he is one of those kind of guys that's just a difference maker, regardless of age, experience. Game transcends age, and he's one of those guys that can absolutely do it. That's for sure.
He had 7 targets yesterday. Robert Lewis had 8 targets. He was the team high, 8 targets, but Cam had 7. You get him 8 targets per game for 12-game regular season. That's 96 plus a bowl game, presumably. So I don't think Edwards' take is too hot.
No,
I'm with him. I'm with him.
Look, especially in the RPO matchup. I mean, if we get in the type of a situation where he gets one-on-ones, why would you not want to throw him the football? Especially if he knows where to be and what to do. I think that's the only thing you worry about with Cam. It's not physical ability. It's does he know the playbook well enough, and are him and Peyton on the same page on all plays? Because he can run every route in the tree. I mean, there's not a concept that he's not fluid enough to execute. It's just mental knowledge. Is your spacing right? Are you chopping things down at the spot in the field that you're supposed to be in? On option routes, are you seeing what the quarterback's seeing? Because that's the biggest part of it. Are you on the same page, specifically in the option route game? So there are some things that he's going to have to continue to work on, but I feel very comfortable that Marcus Davis and our brand new assistant wide receiver coach, who goes by a different title at Auburn, will 100% be on top of him as far as being in your playbook and making sure he fully understands all concepts and plays that they're going to try to execute.
Yeah, and with him, I really don't. I expect him to make freshman mistakes because the kid only been on campus about 3 months, so I don't really expect him to know the whole playbook. That's why he got the rest of the spring. He got all summer. He got fall to work on the little details. And I look for him to be even a different looking player from now until August. He got a lot of time to work. And he's like one of those kids, like I say, you get those kids that love football. It's like he's dedicated to it, man. He loves what he do, man. And those freshman defensive linemen, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, Deron Reed makes some
damn,
plays.
Morris Williams and Waller, man, Lindsey, my boy Blockton, oh my God. I'm impressed. I'm impressed. I'm excited. You know, I held all my reservations till after the spring because I really wanted to get a good look at him. But man, that damn Robert Lewis, man, I like that guy out there too because I need the veteran presence out there, and the guy looked like he just don't drop balls, and that's what I've been missing. He can get open. That's what I've been missing. That kind of guy right there.
And I'll tell you what, and then I want to get Jeffrey's thoughts on this because I'm about to talk about his guy. But, you know, everybody talked about Sam Jackson. But to me, Camden Brown really flashed in that spring game, especially how he came back to the ball a couple of times, how he broke some tackles there. I mean, and to my understanding, he's had some hamstring issues, and he sure didn't look like it yesterday. But to battle through injury, because that's the thing with him. He's been injured since he's been here, right? Like, it seems like he gets a nagging injury every spring or every fall, but that didn't hold him back yesterday. And that's the first time I've seen it not hold him back somewhat. But Edward, talk to us about Camden Brown. And Jeffrey, you talk. Yeah, I want to hear your thoughts as well. What did you think you saw from Camden? And do we think we get an even improved version of him in the fall? Is he showing enough at this point? Do you think he's going to continue to progress?
With Cam Coleman,
I love Camden. I always did love Camden, you know. But I put the pressure. I said some things to put the pressure on Camden because it is do or die for Camden. It's now never for Camden. I believe he has accepted the challenge of knowing, hey, man, you got another 5-star freshman on the way that Hugh Freeze want to get in the other position on the opposite side of the field from Cam now. So he's doing what he needed to do. You know, the only thing with Camden is injuries. Can he stay healthy? You know, if he can stay healthy, the talent is there. The talent is there if he can stay healthy, and that's my only concern with him because that's been the only thing that is nothing physical. Camden Brown has all the physical ability in the world, but like he dealt with hamstring last year, he dealt with ankle also last year. Can he stay healthy? Because I believe if he can stay healthy, you know, he may be another one of those pieces that have been missing because you got so many weapons. And we ain't even mentioned the running game. And that's one thing what I hope they lean on this running game. We got the guys who can make plays outside. But you go to leaning on this running game and get them guys rolling, man, they're going to open up everything for everybody.
Agreed.
Camden had four targets. He had 3 catches. 45 yards. I think the one thing that stood out to me was yards after contact. He had 25 yards after contact.
Yes. I saw the same thing. And for a kid that's injured to battle like that through contact, to me, that shows toughness. That shows determination. That shows a kid that's not afraid to continue to challenge and fight for his spot. And I think we all, even Edward included on this, we all feel comfortable saying, I think Cam Coleman is going to be a starter and Robert Lewis is going to be a starter. But who's going to be that third starting outside wide receiver? I think Camden Brown is very much in the mix to be that guy.
Would you say Perry will battle with him?
I think so. I think Perry will battle with him and Sam Jackson for that third wide receiver position. And maybe Perry's the guy by the end of the season. Edward's right. I mean, this is a hand-picked guy by Hugh Freeze. He's a 5-star kid. He's talented. There's no question about it. I mean, there's not a thing he can't do on the football field from a raw athleticism standpoint. But how quickly can he get up to speed in the playbook? That's what you don't know. And do some of these guys separate themselves and Perry kind of gets put to the back burner? Who knows? But I think that Camden did enough and Sam Jackson's enough to squarely be in the conversation. And even Caleb Burton to some degree.
Didn't see Caleb yesterday. Didn't see Bryce Kane. I thought Bryce Kane had a target in the corner or down the right sidelines, and it was overthrown. It was kind of was that Bryce Kane or was
I thought that was Jay Fair. Am I wrong on that?
Well, he had 5 targets, only 1 catch, but that seems right. I thought it was 6, but I bet it was 5. Bryce Kane's number 6, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, I bet it was 5. But between Robert Lewis, Cam Coleman,
I look for Hugh probably to use a Gus number with Perry coming in. You find 2 or 3 things that he could do you're not really concerned with Perry trying to learn the whole playbook coming in at that stage. You find out what he can execute, and you kind of make him a one-trick pony on 2 or 3 different things that he can do, and that's how you use him. Because he coming in behind the 8 ball, he might not get to the whole playbook. But I don't necessarily need him to know the whole playbook. Oh, if you can go get it in the red zone, then when we get inside the 20 yards in the ball game, it's simple as that. You just find ways to get him the ball. If you can execute a screen pass, then hey, you in here. When I call that play, I need you to line up out there. I ain't worried about him learning the whole playbook. Not Perry. Find 3-4 things that he can do and roll with that.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Let y'all guys finish this show, man. I've been missing y'all, and y'all boys have a good night.
Appreciate you, Edward. Always a pleasure, big dog.
Been missing you too, Edward. Let me ask you guys a question real quick. He just said pull a Gus and have Perry do 1 or 2 things really well. We talked 2 weeks ago about what the expectation for Cam Coleman should be. And we all said, Seth Williams is kind of the baseline for what maybe the expectation for him should be.
Yeah.
Seth Williams was a late arrival to Auburn. Do we think that Perry Thompson is capable of providing Seth Williams type production?
Yes. And my reasoning for that is because of the current situation at receiver.
I think that's fair.
I think he almost has to.
Okay.
Right now.
Do you think he overtakes Camden Brown? Given the room the way it is right now?
Probably not immediately. I think Camden has cleaned up a few things with his routes. Of course, when I was doing analysis on the board of the game, he caught it with his body, and that's all people could look at. But what they didn't see was on that route, which was a comeback route, he did what we call bang the drum, which is you know what I'm talking about. When you get at the end of the route, you kind of, and then you get back. That was an improvement. Again, that's that detail thing, and he got separation on the comeback. They ran a lot of comebacks, by the way, hitches and comebacks, a lot of that stuff. But they were trying to see if they could get some kind of separation. They're working on that stop and start on those routes. It's very obvious. I've seen it at practice. And Camden Brown's gotten better in that aspect. So I think he's way ahead of where he was a year ago. I'm not saying he's going to be the best receiver at Auburn. Don't want to over-exaggerate, just saying I think he's better. So that probably keeps him above Perry Thompson for a while, for year 1 at least.
Tomorrow is the eclipse.
Is it really?
Isn't it?
Yeah, 1:00, I think. Something like that, near 1.
I got me some shades, big dog.
Mm.
Y'all gonna watch it?
You gonna wear your sunglasses at night?
Yeah.
Hey.
And that was Gus's favorite song. Did you know that?
What? Get out of here.
He said that in an interview one time. They said, I don't know if it was like Tom Rinaldi or one of those real, inside the actor studio, real serious. What's your favorite song? Oh, I wear my sunglasses at night, Corey Hart.
Hey, Gus, I hear you.
He was rocking the Cactus Jack, like Travis Scott thing recently, is what they posted on social media. And everyone went crazy.
Is Travis Scott the drummer?
No,
that's Travis Barker.
Barker.
Yes.
Travis Scott's a rapper.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Travis Scott.
Yes, Travis Scott
is not the drummer. Who does he drum for?
Travis Barker.
Travis Barker was
he had the Hot Blonde at one time, didn't he?
Blink 182 or something.
Yeah, Blink 182. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't they have a reality show? Was he with the Hot Blonde?
I don't remember, brother. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Pamela Anderson.
I thought that's Tommy Lee.
Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
Tommy Lee.
Yeah, from Motley Crue.
Yeah. Before he started honking horns and whatnot in his own personal video.
You know what? We were talking about who's on Long Street to start the show. Kind of don't know what to do. I feel like by a recruiting show Wednesday morning. What are y'all laughing at?
I was just laughing at the comments.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them. I feel like by the recruiting show, we'll have a damn good idea. Cole, you believe that? 72 hours from now.
Yeah, I need a couple
48
days.
hours from now.
I need a couple
48
days
hours
to
from
go
now.
by.
We're going to record on Tuesday night and publish on Wednesday this week since no practice.
Yep.
Is that good?
Good.
So 48 hours from now, we'll record. I feel comfortable now that we'll have a much better idea of what to expect for his announcement on Sunday.
I think that's fair. And I think that could be subject to change all the way
Sure.
up until Saturday.
Yeah, what we're feeling Tuesday night might be completely different from what we're feeling Saturday night.
And I want to put out there too that it's not that I'm not ready to put in a prediction for Auburn. It's that I'm not ready to put in a prediction, period. I can't put one in for A&M either or Ole Miss.
But I do think it's those two schools.
I do too.
As a
I
matter
think
of
it's
fact,
those
I'm
two.
fairly confident that it's those two schools.
I think it's those two. I can't put in a prediction for either Auburn or Texas A&M right now. That's where I'm at. I'm not saying it's not going to be Auburn. It could be. It very well could be. And I'm leaning that way right now. But I am not in any position to put in a pick because it's like the intel stops at a certain point, and I can't get past it yet because I don't think it goes any further, if that makes sense.
It does.
What that means is I don't think he's made his decision yet.
See, that's exactly what I was about to say. If the kid has made a decision, that's one thing. I feel like it's doable for us to figure out what that decision is going to be.
Right.
If he hasn't made a decision, if he's at home contemplating the pros and cons of each of his two finalists, and he's still doing that Monday, if he's still doing that Tuesday, if he's still wanting to have one last conversation, one last FaceTime meeting with the coaches and staff, and his mom wants to talk. If that's the case, then that's where we're like, we think, but we don't know.
Right. And that's
Trying to read the tea leaves here.
Sure. And when you're putting in a prediction, you want to have more of the I know feeling.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to feel comfortable because I know this and I know this. I think this and I know that.
Right. You know what I mean? Like if you've got 4 check marks, you want to have 3 of them in there to be able to put a prediction in. You probably got 2 of them right now, but there's another 2 out there that you don't exactly understand or know just yet.
Which would explain a 50-50 with a slight edge towards Auburn, but maybe that's because he's coming off this official visit. I know he's high on Auburn. I know his father. The quotes he gave to Steve Wiltfong today were amazing. Were very praiseworthy of Auburn. But how does he feel 48 hours from now after he's talked to, Mike Echo? What's his name?
Elko.
That's what I said.
I'll put it like this too. I expected.
Got me that time.
I expected to know something after this visit, and I didn't learn anything.
I think it might be too close. I mean, too soon. And here's why. Even I wouldn't put a lot into what I'm hearing today. I would put more stock into what I'm hearing Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cole, you talk about the visit high. I mean, that's.
Mm-hmm.
I would put more stock into what I'm hearing Tuesday, and I actually talked to one guy today who said the same thing. Let's see what he's saying Tuesday.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good time frame.
Sure.
So we hope to know a little bit more Tuesday. We're going to make it our job to know more about it Tuesday.
That's correct.
We'll not be afraid to tell you that we don't when Tuesday comes around. Would rather not know than to
steer you guys the wrong way.
I mean,
I think what you guys do a phenomenal job of, and this is just me as somebody that pays attention to what you put into writing, is you're just setting expectation, right? Like what you don't want to do is to lie to your fan base and pretend to have facts that you don't necessarily have. And I think a prediction does that.
Yeah, and if you go back to the On 3 RPM day, Cole and I both were like, listen, We're just guessing on these three, big dog. That's what this day is for. We're
Right.
going off of our gut. We think we're just guessing. So don't think we've got knowledge here. Now that that's over with, this is more of, I want to use my intel, because here we are. This is the 8th inning for Longstreet. We'll be 9th inning here before too long. That's a baseball analogy, isn't it?
It is, but I dig it.
Fourth quarter. We're in the fourth quarter, the start of the fourth quarter. The last week is the fourth quarter.
And the difference in, just to try to elaborate a little bit on the whole quarterback thing and why it's different, is because quarterbacks very rarely, it's a lot like you've told me about basketball recruiting, which I don't cover, Jeffrey. You cover basketball recruiting, but you've said the cool thing about basketball recruiting is that usually when they commit somewhere, it's kind of a done deal. It's over. It's almost like other schools back off and say, all right, that's it. It's almost like they signed. I see it that way with quarterbacks. Now you had a weird deal happen last year with Dylan, the quarterback from Dylan
Raiola.
That was a weird deal, but Georgia had 2 quarterbacks in that class. So
2 quarterbacks and a really weird situation where Raiola's uncle was coaching at Nebraska.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it almost takes that, right? For when a quarterback makes a decision about where they're going, it almost takes that.
And, you think about those 3 guys we talked about earlier, 2 of them are committed, but I don't think anybody considers them committed except maybe USC fans for Juju and Texas fans for KJ. Other than that, I sometimes forget they're committed.
I 100%. And now with KJ, not as much, because he's talked about Texas pretty.
He's saying the right things.
He's saying the right things, but the visits tell you a little bit of a different story, right?
Mm-hmm. Complete, yes.
The other situation, like I don't even understand how he could be considered committed at this point. His dad, with all due respect, says all the right things. They talk about Lincoln Riley. They say the right, but my Lord, at the visits to other places, Auburn, Georgia, Bama, Colorado, you know what I mean? Multiple others that are also in the mix. I think, who was it that also tried to get in the mix with Juju here late? Indiana.
Was Ole Miss ever in it? Did he visit?
Not that I'm aware of.
Who is Ole Miss?
Ole Miss is Huson Longstreet. He just visited there.
That's right. Yeah. Oregon and Ole Miss he visited earlier this week.
Yeah.
Or early last week. Well, we'll hit a pause on that, and we'll pick that up on Tuesday. That'll be a hot topic, I'm guessing, for the Wednesday show. Let me put that out there. Wednesday show for you guys. We'll record late Tuesday night, have it ready early Wednesday morning. All right. Well, let's wrap it up. Let's start putting out feelers for some guys that will be committing soon. Eric Winters, maybe Dante Core, obviously Huson Longstreet, Alvin Henderson. A lot of things in the works over the next few days, couple of weeks. We'll be trying to track it all at Auburn Live on 3. Also, don't forget for you YouTube listeners, Spotify. What's the other one?
Apple.
LinkedIn. Apple. What's the other one?
Apple.
Spotify. Oh, is it Apple? Okay.
Yeah. Jeffrey said LinkedIn.
AU, capital A, capital U, 1 is a promo code. It'll get you 2 months for $1. And that's just for you guys. 2 months for $1. AU1 promo code. Oh, Lee Carter took that. Remember Lee Carter?
Lee Carter.
And O'Donnell. How about you to those 2?
How about you?
And how about you to Carlos and
Carmack.
Heather? Carmack.
Fantastic
2 couples there. Came out and Colin
and Nickel
Majors.
Package.
Is that who that is?
He's a Nickel Package on the board, yes.
Nickel Deckun Package.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. What his last name? Greg Majors.
That's it.
I didn't mean to out him, but I was going to have about you his real name.
Look, if you show up and you show your face, then that's
man. We had a good little group at the corner get together at the bunkers.
I like it.
JG texted me in the middle of it. Like, JG texted me, y'all have fun at the bunkers.
Kind of ironic.
All right, let's get back to we'll We'll be back Wednesday again. Auburn, Opelika, Lee County. If you're looking for a house, need to find one, give her a call. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. Tell her we sent you. All right, folks, we will be back Wednesday morning. Look for us then. We'll have a lot of recruiting talk on our recruiting show. Look, Tuesday afternoon on the corner if you want to get a question in for that show. Mr. Alan Head will be posting a questions for the corner from the corner.
Yes, sir.
Post and get in there. Look for it Tuesday afternoon/evening. We'll do it, and we'll see y'all back next week right after the commitment of Husan Longstreet. Thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks to everybody for watching. For Cole, for Zach in the back who came to the front. From Alan Head, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all stay that left lane. See ya.